2 miles north of La Tortuga, 5 speedboats cut black water at 40 knots, and 1 Reaper drone was already watching. Above the storm line, its camera tracked them like ghosts moving through static. The operator sat in a dark room 5,000 miles away, eyes fixed on a radar bloom that wouldn't stop multiplying. No chatter, no radio call signs. Just the pulse of illegal engines against open sea. At 2:17 a.m., he keyed the control stick and whispered to himself, "Here we go." 30 miles north of La Tortuga Island, a stretch of black water split by invisible borders and whispered radio chatter. A U.S. MQ-9 Reaper drifts high above the Caribbean, running silent at 1,500 feet, its thermal sensors sweeping for heat blooms below. On the screens in Command Post Delta, 5 irregular radar returns pulse across a wide sector map. Venezuelan-flagged speedboats, likely part of a narco-terrorist logistics run. Each boat is pushing 40 knots, skimming just above the wave tops, using the tropical squall line as cover. The sea is restless, crosswinds at 22 knots, humidity at 96%, a storm cell forming on the eastern horizon. Inside the control bay, Lieutenant Harris steadies his breathing. The mission feed overlays digital telemetry with timestamps and coded frequencies. Altitude, 1,500 feet. Battery temp, 72 degrees Celsius. Latency, 1.4 seconds. Every number matters. Every flicker on the radar could mean smugglers, militia, or something far worse. A faint voice crackles through the comms. Contact confirmed. 5 targets, bearing 027. Maintain shadow pattern. The operator acknowledges, fingers tightening on the control stick. The drone banks left, optics focusing on the lead boat. Through night vision, its engines flash white hot. Military-grade tuning, not civilian. The storm front creeps closer. Visibility drops by half. And somewhere below, a boat captain looks up, unaware that a Reaper's eye has already locked on. 2:21 hours. Wind shear strikes the Reaper's wings. A sudden cross-current jolts the feed. Harris adjusts throttle inputs, fingers flicking over control toggles. Stability returns, but telemetry flashes amber. Below, the 5 boats shift formation. 2 veer north, 3 tighten their spread. Their wakes fan out like white scars across the dark sea. Speed, 42 knots. Distance, 1.7 nautical miles, and closing. Harris checks his screen. The Seahawk patrol is still 5 minutes out, fuel limited and dodging storm interference. He's alone. A tone beeps in his headset. Satellite link delay rising. A storm cell is chewing signal strength down to 72%. The Reaper's onboard A. I recalibrates the comms array, redirecting through a secondary relay in Puerto Rico. Milliseconds matter. He exhales, muttering, "Come on, stay with me." Infrared feed flickers. 2 of the boats suddenly accelerate again. Speed surge, 45 knots. Their signatures spike hotter, weapon mounts visible on the forward decks. The drone's targeting suite cycles up, auto-tracking the lead vessel. But the system hesitates, cross-referencing identification tags. Civilian? Paramilitary? The margins blur in bad weather. Another alert. EW signal detected. Low-frequency sweep bearing 030. Harris frowns. Someone's jamming, but it's localized. Weak. Testing range. He switches to manual override, lowering altitude to 1,200 feet. Tightening sensor focus. Rain streaks the feed like static, each droplet a tiny distortion. 3 boats now, heading directly toward the drone's shadow line. They shouldn't know it's there, but somehow, they do. 2:23 hours. The Reaper's optics lock. 5 boats, now 4, closing fast. Harris narrows focus, crosshairs pulsing faintly red over the lead vessel. He could end this in seconds, but rules of engagement are clear. No strike without confirmation. Still, every instinct screams otherwise. The Seahawk is still 3 minutes out. Comms are lagging, and the jammer's sweep just doubled in strength. A small tremor hits the Reaper. Turbulence or signal spoofing. The AI compensates instantly, gyros cutting through the chop. Harris leans in, adjusting gain on the visual spectrum. Infrared bloom, hot exhausts, metal barrels, 2 gunners on deck. Target confirmed. He stops mid-breath. One of the signatures blinks. The thermal feed fractures. False return. Somebody's playing decoy. He switches to radar overlay. Two pings disappear behind sea clutter. The jammer is masking them with pulse modulation. Smart. Smarter than cartel-grade tech should be. Control. This is Raven 2-1. Possible external support. Tech signature not local. Over. No response, just static. He checks the clock. 42 seconds until the boats breach engagement distance. AI proposes a solution. Activate warning laser. He hesitates. It's non-lethal, but it gives position away. He toggles the switch. A blood-red beam cuts the darkness, slicing through rain, illuminating hulls below. Instant reaction. One boat turns sharply starboard, nearly colliding with another. But the lead one accelerates straight into the beam, full throttle. Impact warning. Proximity breach in 11, 10, 9. Harris overrides autopilot, climbing hard. Engines howl, sensors scream, feed blurs white. Then, silence. The storm swallows everything. When the feed stabilizes, one boat is gone. Two scatter east. One limps toward shore, trailing smoke. He exhales. No missile fired, no lives lost. But the enemy just tested something new, and it worked. 229 hours. Silence. Wide and absolute. The ocean looks flat again, as if the chaos never happened. Only the hum of the drone's turbine and the soft ping of cooling sensors break the stillness. Harris sits motionless, headset half-tilted, breath measured. He replays the feed, frame by frame. Infrared smears of heat fade into nothing. One boat gone, three fleeing, one adrift, its engine dying under a veil of rain. The Seahawk finally cuts in. Visual acquired. Area clear. Too late to matter, right on time to count. Harris leans back. The adrenaline drains fast, replaced by the heavy quiet of knowing he just rewrote a mission's outcome with restraint, not firepower. He types his final line in the after-action log. Interdiction complete. Non-lethal outcome. Unknown jammer source. Cursor blinks. Blinks again. Then he adds one more word. Effective. Outside, dawn crawls over the Caribbean. Soft blues spilling through storm-torn clouds. The Reaper circles once more, low and silent, before turning south toward its carrier ship. No explosions, no headline victory. Just a quiet success in the gray zone between diplomacy and warfare. And somewhere below, a single survivor watches the red beam fade into the sky, still wondering who or what found them in the dark. The night's mission proves a point few outside the cockpit grasp. Restraint can be as powerful as ordnance. Every decision, each millisecond of hesitation or precision, cascaded across the theater of operations. A single misread sensor, one misfired warning laser, could have escalated a tactical interdiction into a diplomatic crisis. From the carrier's bridge to the Reaper cockpit, operators recalculated engagement zones, reaction windows, and risk thresholds. Every system interacting with another. Radar echoes, drone stability, MH-60 support, human judgment. One element out of sync, and the story changes. Intelligence officers will debrief, mapping data to future interdictions. Patterns will inform drone deployment, air support vectors, and the gray area protocols that define hybrid maritime enforcement. The takeaway: technology is only as effective as the human mind guiding it, and in the gray zone between law enforcement and combat, discipline defines success. Here, in the quiet aftermath, victory is measured not in explosions, but in decisions made. Perfectly, deliberately, and without error. The night recedes, but the tension lingers. Every operator, every sensor, every split-second calculation contributed to a quiet success. Yet we are left with a question. What would you have done in that cockpit? Could a single drone operator truly hold the line against multiple vessels racing under cover of darkness? Could restraint have saved more than just the mission? Possibly lives, possibly international consequences? The storm settles over the Caribbean. Waters calm, radar pings now steady. Yet the stakes remain. Intelligence collected tonight feeds tomorrow's operations, shaping patrols, interdiction zones, and contingency planning. every decision echoes beyond the immediate horizon. Engage with the scenario. Share your analysis, debate the choices, or imagine the variables you would adjust. This isn't just a mission. It's a study in judgment, technology, and the razor's edge of operational risk. The takeaway is clear. In high-stakes environments, thinking before firing is as critical as firepower itself. Decisions matter, and every second counts. Dawn breaks over the Caribbean. The storm has passed. The waves glitter under first light, but the memory of the night's tension lingers. Operators log every maneuver, every radar ping, every decision. A meticulous record of what could have gone catastrophically wrong. The 5 vessels are accounted for. 1 returned to Venezuelan waters, 2 vanished into darkness, 1 stopped without firing a shot. The mission succeeded not through destruction, but through discipline, timing, and measured judgment. Strategically, tonight's operation demonstrates the subtle power of restraint and coordination. Intelligence gathered will shape future interdictions, revealing patterns in smuggler tactics and environmental challenges. The human element, judgment, anticipation, and rapid calculation, proved as critical as any system or drone deployed. For the audience, the lesson is clear. High-stakes operations rely on more than hardware. They rely on humans making split-second decisions under immense pressure, balancing risk, legality, and morality. In the end, the quiet success becomes a story of mastery over chaos, a reminder that sometimes the most powerful action is knowing when not to act.